both of those couples got divorced. So nobody from season 2 really has lasted. It's not really funny, but it is, because it was like, we saw this happening though. But anyway. You guys, welcome back to the channel. It's your girl Jada here, back with another video, and today I'm coming at you guys with an update, and this is going to be about Iyanna and Jarette from the Love is Blind season 2, I believe. You know, they honestly just keep pumping these seasons out back to back to back now. Like, there's no break in between now. It's just like, oh, we have another season coming out. We just dropped this one, but we got another one coming out next week. And it's just like, well, wait, give me a second. I need to digest. I'm gonna hop into this juicy video, okay? Now, when I say juicy, it is unfortunately juicy because, you know, the unfortunate part is that I really do like Iyanna, okay? I think we've all, after seeing season 2, really like Iyanna. And even if you follow her on Instagram nowadays, you would love her, okay? I actually even follow her podcast. I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but I will put it on the screen for you guys. I've seen a couple clips on TikTok and I was just like, ooh, I like this. And then I decided to actually follow. I think she's on YouTube under Feel in the Blank podcast. And I think also from season 2 is, geez, I can't remember her name, but the Asian woman. I can't remember her name on there. I remember her being like really annoying. I'm not even gonna lie. But she and I think Deepti is her name, Deepti. They have a podcast together. It's called Out of the Pods, if you guys want to check that out. Iyanna was actually on there as well, and she talked about what we're going to be discussing in this video over there too. But let's get into the crisis here, all right? So with Iyanna and Jarette, we kind of already saw in season 2 that their relationship was off to a rocky start. Even though, of course, in the pods, you're talking to everybody without being able to see them. You're trying to make connections really quickly. I understand, obviously, how you could easily make a mistake when you have to make such an important decision in such a short period of time. But what gets me is how Jarette, decided he wanted to go with, geez, I can't even remember the name of the other cast members now. Oh, Natalie. Natalie was the name of the Asian woman. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember. I only can remember Deepti's name. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Let's see if we could find, was it Melanie? Meg? Some M name. Mallory. Yes, Mallory. There we go. So Jarette, at first, he had proposed to Mallory and she said no. She shot him down, and Mallory had ultimately decided to continue seeing Salvador, and he eventually proposed, but let's be honest, we knew their relationship was doomed from the start, and they also had said no. Well, he had said no to her at the altar. So that was a no-go as well. However, Iyanna and Jarette decided, okay, after Jarette had pretty much made Iyanna his second choice and came crawling back to her after he had gotten rejected from Mallory, he decides to say, hey, you know, I still really like you, you know, come along, you should marry me. Somehow, don't ask me how, okay, because I really still don't understand it. She got convinced, all right, and she accepted his proposal, and they went through that whole process of living together, going to the altar, saying yes, and Jarette's dad was even the person that had married them. What gets me is that shortly after they got married is that they started having issues because Jarette really, okay, being the person that he is, he really just had a totally different lifestyle before he went into the show, and, you know, obviously marrying someone out of that experience and he could not adjust his lifestyle. You could tell Iyanna was getting real irritated with him. When we saw them in the reunion for season 2, you could tell they were struggling, but they were trying their best to hide it and make it seem like their relationship was, you know, something that was actually worthwhile. You know what I mean? Like, we're still rooting for you, right? But after that reunion is when we start to see things crumble, and both of the married couples from season 2, Iyanna, Jarette, and also I think it was Danielle and Nick, both of those couples got divorced. So nobody from season 2 really has lasted. It's not really funny, but it is, because it was like, we saw this happening though. But anyway, the real reason we found out later on was because Iyanna had found out that he was actually cheating on her. Yeah. It seems as though it's just one woman that had reached out to her and was like, oh, I'm coming to you as a woman, which you could tell Iyanna in this one clip on TikTok was very irritated by, because if we're gonna be honest, you knew he was married. Let's be honest. Good chunk of the time, you know. You do your investigation, you know? Back in the day, you could say, oh, I didn't know, but nowadays, it's like, you get clues, you know? Especially if you have their Instagram, their social media accounts, you know. You can figure it out. Especially if they're being like super cagey about things. You find out, all right? Let's be honest. This generation of women, the only reason we wouldn't know if a guy is married is because we don't actually want to know. We want to stay in ignorant bliss, okay? Let's be honest, that's the only reason. I think when women come to other women, you know good and well this man was on a show. And he married this woman on a show that was on Netflix. So you know for a fact this man is married. Okay, so don't even start. So when women come to other women, the married women in this case, okay, and be like, oh, I'm coming to you as a woman just to let you know that this, and this happened and I have pictures, but I'm cutting it off. It seems like BS. It really does. Because it's just kind of like, but you knew from the beginning though. So you're both sacks of sugar honey iced tea. Both of you. Both of you are trash humans. But I'm gonna just play Iyanna's video real quick because she breaks down pretty much everything. And there was also a clip that I'm gonna talk about a little bit later in the video, but let me just play Iyanna's video real quick.
She literally said, I'm coming to you as a woman. I hate, first of all, I hate when they say that. I got a DM too. I realized when I found her on social media, on IG, that she had also DM'd me. Would you still be together if he didn't cheat? I don't even know how to, no, I actually wouldn't, because we're so incompatible. It wasn't just that, we were wildly incompatible. Different interests, he's not growth mindset, and that frustrated the shit out of me. He used to think I talked too much. He didn't want to talk to me. That man didn't like me, y'all. I'm pretty sure he didn't like me. He said, I love you, I like you so much. No, you don't, you lying. Stop lying to me. I mean, I tried to work through it, but he just kept living in the gray. I hate the gray. How did you confront him? Girl, I got the email when I was literally sitting in between his legs while he was taking out my braids. When no confronting, I said, you stupid. He's not a bad guy. He's just unhealed as hell. He just be lying to himself. No, he didn't try to deny it. He couldn't deny it. I had a picture of a girl in my apartment.
So Iyanna, you know, she pretty much laid everything out. She was just like really matter of fact about it. At that point, you could tell she was kind of just over it, over the situation. Even though you get divorced sometimes, you know, the healing process is still, you're still trying to make your way through that. But it does seem as though she's like almost halfway through at this point, you know? There's no tears, there's no real emotion. It's just like this is what happened and that's it. But what gets me is that Jarette decided he wanted to talk about his experience and his side of the story and what Iyanna had did to him. I'm gonna play that clip for you guys real quick.
First month of our marriage, she was out with some of the female castmates. I was at work, calling her, no answer. Looking at her location, it's telling me she's at this one location. So I go inside this location and I'm looking for her. Cannot find her. Call her again, no answer. I'm not throwing anybody under the bus. I'm just speaking my truth. But when I did find her, it's not a lie. Ask her, she would tell you. When I did find her, she was holding hands with another guy walking down the stairs. And I'm like, what the is this? What is this? She was obviously, she was drunk. We went home. We got into an argument when we got home because I'm like, what is this? Who is this guy? Why are you holding this guy's hand? This, that, and the third. I'm like, you know, I'm not about to have this conversation. You're drunk, I'm sober. The very next day, we're having this conversation and I'm hit with I blacked out, I don't remember. Does that excuse you for whatever actions happened in between this time that you do remember, you don't remember? I don't know. Nobody's trying to figure out a story. This is actually what, go ask her. He was not helping her down the stairs. He met her out when they was out drinking or whatever. And I know this because one of my homeboys was drinking with all of them too. And then they all just separated and she still stayed outside. But the crazy thing is, like, I cared a lot about this person. I spent 16 months of my life with this person. I wasn't gonna waste my time for 16 months. Like, I was truly trying to make this shit work. The woman can say whatever the hell she want to say. That don't mean it's true. I can tell you right now that the sky is green as hell. That don't mean it's true.
Iyanna had did a video in response to this video, and she kind of already knew that he was going to have something to say to make her look bad as well. Because if you're being thrown under the bus as a crappy person already, yeah, you're gonna bring other people down with you, because it seems like the only thing that you could do to really try and save yourself. You know what I mean? And if you can't save yourself, then why not ruin somebody else's appearance in society along with you? So, you know, Iyanna had her response as well.
I don't like that he's gonna use this situation against me, because it's just...
What situation? Iyanna, what situation are you talking about, baby?
Oh my God.
What situation is he going to use against you, baby?
When we first got married, I went out with some women I had just met, but I felt, and see, once again, I relinquished trust way too quickly, but I felt like I thought every woman lived by like girl code. Like, if you come together, you leave together. If you go to the bathroom, you make sure that they're safe. But these women didn't live by that exact code, and we were all drinking, and I sometimes, and this is why I don't drink, this is why I don't like to drink often, because I know sometimes I have a hard time like understanding, like, okay, now is when you stop. We were out, and I was really just keeping up with everybody else. Everybody else was like, oh, I'm gonna go get a drink. I'm like, oh yeah, give me one too. And I blacked out. And within an hour, I was at a random bar with some random guy, and I came to, and I remember yelling at this man, no, I'm married. But I remember him just following me around a lot. Around like 2:30 in the morning, Jarette gets off of work, and he's like, Iyanna, I'm coming to pick you up. And I made sure I actually looked at these text messages yesterday, because I was downward spiraling. And he's like, Iyanna, I'm coming to get you. And I was like, okay. But I remember trying to send him my location, but I ended up sending him his contact information. And that's just like how drunk I was. But when he came to get me, this guy had the nerve to say like, oh no, bro, she's good. And I'm surprised Jarette didn't punch him in the face then. But Jarette was like, all right, we gotta go. At this point, I'm belligerently drunk. Like belligerently drunk. And I remember saying, oh, wasn't it nice that guy was checking on me? And Jarette looked at me like, Iyanna, if you don't shut the f up. And then I was like, oh, I need to check on the girls. And then he got even more upset with me. He was like, why are you checking on these women who aren't checking on you? And then I blacked out again. But the next morning I woke up, and the shower curtain was broken because apparently I had fallen into the tub. Like, it was just a hot ass mess. And Jarette was like, Iyanna, you don't know what was happening with you and this guy. And I was like, no, nothing happened. Like, I know nothing happened. Because I remember pushing him off saying, no, I'm married. And I remember telling him like, I'm also concerned about my behavior too. I never want to repeat, and I never repeated it again. I realized in retrospect, me expressing how concerned I also was made him feel like he well, not even that. He felt invalidated and like I shut him down. And but the weird part is I went and I looked back at our text messages, and he texted me saying like, I just need last night to never happen again. And I remember in the text message, I saw it, and I said, that will never happen again. I promise you, this is not a repeated behavior. That was a one-time incident. I will never drink that much again. I'm a tiny person. I have to just be honest about that. And then he sent me a kissy face. But then he didn't bring it up again until a year later when I asked for a divorce. And we were I asked my therapist for a couple more sessions. And I said, I just want to make sure like we have some closing out sessions, make sure we're coping well, making sure, you know, everything's good. And that's when he decided to bring it up. And I was very confused. And I was like, why are you bringing this up a year later? He was like, well, you shut me down. I never want to talk about it again. And I was like, okay. I was like, well, I apologize. Like, I never want that. Like, I don't want you to feel like I shut you down like that. That's not okay. So I know he's probably going to talk about that.
So what I find crazy is that this dude has still yet to really even say anything about his cheating. He's just talking about what he thinks happened with Iyanna. That's what I'm getting. Because you have no actual evidence that she cheated on you in any way. You know what I'm saying? Yes, you saw her with a dude, but I mean, you don't know what the heck happened. You have no evidence, nothing. So it's just kind of like, What are we doing here? Don't get me wrong, she obviously stated that, you know, she drank too much, she should have known her limits, she blacked out. You know, that I would say, yeah, do better, Iyanna. You know what I mean? Know better, right? But I do find it crazy that instead of actually taking accountability for what he did, Jarette just went on the automatic defense and started talking about what she did and pointed the finger. And it's just like, let's be honest at this point. You know what you did.
I kept pleading with him after the divorce. Jarette, please talk about it on your podcast. Just be honest. You have a whole podcast. Be authentic about it. Be transparent about it. And he was just like, no. And I was like, well, okay, well, I feel like I'm getting to the point where I want to talk about it. I was like, don't you want to come on my podcast and have an honest conversation? He's like, no.
Oh, so you actually talked to him about it? Like,
oh,
let's
yes,
talk.
plenty.
Wow.
Plenty. I was like, bro, I don't want to do this. Like, don't put me in a position where I have to like protect myself, or even just like don't put me in this position, man. Like, just be honest. Just be honest.
Well, he's still not being honest, because on his Instagram live, he said that he didn't cheat on you. He said that he didn't kiss the girls and that he just brought them over to have a few drinks, and he, you know, went to go lay down in his bedroom.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
But I have a picture of this woman in his clothes in my living room.
And to be fair, when it came to Jarette, let's be honest, people already disliked him because he went after Mallory and then decided to go after Iyanna as second best, like option B, you know? And I'm just like, I know you're not gonna treat my girl like option B here, okay? Like, I'm gonna need you to get it together. What's crazier though, again, it still makes me mad to this day, is that she actually accepted his proposal after he had already proposed to a whole other woman. Girl. No. Hope she learned her lesson, okay? Because let's be honest, if he treats you as option B from the jump, you are going to continue to be option B more than likely. In this current season of Love is Blind that I just did, I think that was season 4, right? Yeah, season 4, with Bliss and Zach, for example. He had originally chosen, who was that again? Jeez. Oh Lord, there's so many names. He had originally chosen Irina. And let's be honest, that crashed and burned pretty quickly after they got to see each other in person. Irina was having no parts of Zach, okay? And I think that in that case, he knew from the jump that he made a mistake, and he was making it up to Bliss the entire time. He was not focusing on anybody else but Irina when they were engaged, okay? This is before he went back to Bliss. So he gave Irina a chance. He did not share his focus with anyone else, no other girl. So he gave everything he had to that relationship working. He was not distracted. And then when he went to Bliss, he was the same way, all right? So I knew that from the jump, even though he had chosen Irina, that he was gonna stay focused on Bliss and that their relationship was gonna work out, right? But when it came to this particular situation with Jarette, let's be honest, okay? Jarette was a F-boy. Jarette was a frat boy, F-boy, everything boy that you could think of, okay? This man was a player from the beginning. Smooth talking, always talking to another lady other than Iyanna. He had to make sure he spoke to Mallory. I was like, what y'all need to have a long drawn out conversation for? She said no. Okay, move on. Like, why y'all have this long conversation? You catch my drift? Little things like that that made me notice from the beginning that he was going to continue to treat her like the second option. Like she didn't matter. I just knew from the beginning they weren't gonna work out. This does not surprise me in the slightest. Honestly, it really doesn't. I hope that Iyanna finds happiness. I know at one point I'm saying they, but the audience of Love is Blind, fans of Love is Blind, they were on TikTok pretty much saying that Iyanna and Marshall should date. Marshall from season 4. Obviously, we know that Marshall, you know, he looks as though he's in a whole other relationship now. He's moved on from the situation. But I still think that, yeah, they should probably give each other a chance. If anything ever happens to Marshall's current relationship, give Iyanna a call, because I could see them working out. But I personally think that it's the emotional availability and also the willingness to change. And obviously kind of have like this give and take about you. That's the only way a relationship is going to work, and ultimately a marriage, you know? And personally, I do think that Love is Blind, the wording in itself, love is not blind. Let's be honest, okay? Love is not blind. There's always distractions, always. But I would say in terms of you actually being dedicated to a person, I think that has to come from deep, deep down, and you actually have to want to. You have to want it. You have to want that marriage and relationship to work. And I just think that these shows, they kind of prove to you that, number one, yeah, love is not blind. You do have to be attracted to that person. And number two, you do need more than just love. You actually need to be able to have that within you to want to work through your problems with each other and not find somebody else to be with every 2 seconds because you're bored with this person or this person said this to you. And, you know, like, work out your issues. Obviously, if it's really, really bad and it's snowballed into something absolutely nuts and crazy, then I understand. But it's like you really have to take into consideration that these relationships, they take work and time and effort. Okay? So I just think that with Jarette, he wasn't really willing to do that, and he just hopped into that experience just because. And the fact that he cheated, it surprises no one. Definitely not me, you know? But yeah, I wish Iyanna the best. Jarette, I hope he fixes himself. Will he? Actually, I don't know. I doubt it. The fact that he couldn't even be honest about his side of things, it shows his character. So I'm gonna leave that one there. Y'all can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. But yeah, this was not a surprise to me at all. But I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.